Oh yeah, perfection. So I really hate the fact that just due to my style of hunting, and a lot of times how I'm just going in to be able to maneuver, kind of go in lightweight, low key, and try to harvest some of these deer, I really haven't been able to find the opportunity to shoot you guys an actual catch, clean, and cook on deer. Don't worry, I will try harder. I'll see if I can make that happen in the future. But we are going to go ahead and do a clean and cook, or at least part of one. It's always been a tradition with my family, especially the first deer of the season, is to go ahead and take off the back straps, the tenderloins, and our first meal that evening after processing the deer out is going to be some fresh, before it's had a chance to be frozen, backstrap steaks. So I'm going to show you guys. Glad you're joining me where I can show you one of our family traditions. Leave me a comment below. What are some of your family traditions whenever you shoot a deer? Be interested on hearing from you. Okay, so you got your backstrap right here. We've got the shoulders, the flanks, and the tenderloin, so everything's kind of opened up. You got your hind quarter right here, and you got your backstrap right in here. Okay, so you're going to cut right in here, and there's going to be a bit of a bone right there, and you're just going to come straight across. Okay, and you'll feel that bone either above it or below it. Get right below it. We're going to go straight across. Okay, and right here's the spine. So I'm going to go in and making sure I'm holding my knife point straight. I'm going to go straight down. Now, I don't usually do a whole lot of neck rows, so usually I just go ahead and continue this cut all the way down to the neck, and just go ahead and take this hunk of meat off all in one. The backstrap actually ends right up in here somewhere. We're going to come right in here, and you're going to feel where those little riblets are. I don't think that's the technical term, but it's like little short ribs right in here. And we're just going to come straight in, follow that cut all the way down to the neck. Once you get it started, you're going to see that for the most part it should just pull right on out. You may have to help it along with your knife point. And I'm going to go to my smaller bladed knife. Just feel like I have a little more control. Okay, and don't worry if you don't get every scrap. I guarantee you there's not a whole lot of meat left on there worth worrying about. But if you do happen to miscut, no sweat, just trim that stuff off and use it for ground deer. Alright, so there's an absolutely beautiful cut of meat. So let's get over to a cleaner work table and I'll show you guys how to go ahead and process this out and cook you up an absolutely fine meal. Okay guys, we're in the kitchen. Got one of the back straps here. And I appreciate you hanging out with me as I just try to share a real simple recipe. Like I say, this is kind of, I guess you'd call it, a tradition me and my family have had. We don't do it with every deer, but especially the first deer of the season. We go ahead and like to bring a back strap in and go ahead and cook up some fresh back strap steaks before they've had a chance to get frozen. So this is straight off the deer. All I've done is rinse it off, and we can go ahead and show you how to trim out the back strap and then get some steaks out of it. So whenever I took it off the deer, I took it off with the neck meat connected that's on that side. So if you look right here, if you turn it over, okay, your back strap actually ends about here, and then your neck meat picks up. And the back strap is so small right here, you're not really going to get a whole lot in the way of steaks out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off that neck meat. And we got a little kitty smells this delicious venison. And that's just going to go in a bag that I'll bring out every time I go to process out some meat that's marked. It'll just be ground up for burger. So we've got just a backstrap. What I like to do is just go ahead and cut in here. Don't cut down too hard, but you're going to hit that sinew, and you're just going to turn your blade sideways. And you're basically just going to flay that backstrap off, almost like you'd be filleting a fish. A little bit of fat's okay, but you want a lot of that silver membrane. That's actually the sinew. And you want to try to go ahead and get that off, because as it heats up, it's just going to shrink and shrivel up. And it's going to be chewy as all get out. Like I said, any of these trimmings, I can go ahead and just put them in my bag and grind up later. Got it nice and trimmed out. We'll just go ahead and cut us some about 1 inch thick little medallion steaks. Now if you wanted a larger steak, you can go ahead and butterfly that. So you come in here about 3/4 of an inch, cut down part way, and you go ahead and complete your cut, and you can spread it out, and you have you a little bit bigger, what they call a butterfly steak. There, I think that'll be plenty for dinner tonight, and it'll be really good left over anyway. So I'm just going to season them up. Like I said, this is just a real simple thing. Usually whenever I've harvested a deer, it's a pretty full day. Don't want to get into a bunch of extravagant cooking, just want to eat good. So I really like the southern flavor, this deer and wild game seasoning. Going to season it up real good with that. It's kind of like a gunpowder. Don't know what brand that is, but it's kind of like gunpowder seasoning for steaks. Maybe a little bit more salt added. In case I didn't mention it, you want to go ahead and make sure your steaks are dry, not all dripping wet. That way that meat will just suck those seasonings in and it'll stick really well. Alright, so we got that on the one side. Me and my family like the spicy stuff. We're going to use just a little bit of Creole. Not too much. And some garlic powder. Oh man, this is just going to make your taste buds pop. Alright, we'll get a skillet hot and we'll go ahead and get these things cooked up. Oh man, look at that. Now you got to wait till they're done though. Alright, like I said, this is going to be real quick and simple. Got a cast iron skillet. Love cooking on my cast iron. A little healthy drizzle of olive oil. Got it on kind of a medium-high heat. And we want to go ahead and sear these real quick on the outside. I'm going to sear them both sides. And we'll go ahead and turn the heat down a little bit and just go ahead and finish them off. Now over the years I've ran into a lot of people, even those that'll go to a restaurant and get their steak medium or medium rare. When it comes to deer meat, the general consensus I've seen amongst a lot of people is that you've got to brine the deer meat or soak it in some salt water until it starts turning this kind of putrid gray color. You tell it's kind of cold down here in Alabama? You gotta soak it until it starts turning this putrid gray color, and then go ahead and cook it to death. Well done. Well, if you do that, you're gonna turn out with a nasty, flavorless piece of shoe leather. There's simply no reason to do that. You know, no reason to brine the meat. If you do feel the necessity to brine the meat, I would say just soak it in some salt water for maybe 10 or 15 minutes right before you cook it. Don't actually go to the point where you're starting to actually bleach the meat out, because then you're not pulling out the blood. What you're pulling out are actually the meat juices that gives it flavor. And you know, deer meat tends to run kind of on the dry side anyway. So you really don't want to be pulling out. Turn this up just a hair. You really don't want to be pulling out all of those juices. You're just going to dry the meat out. Alright, so we're just going to go a couple of minutes on one side, then we're going to flip them over. We're just trying for a real hot sear just on the outside, and that's just going to seal that meat and lock those juices inside. But yeah, if you're doing this and you don't really like the fact that the deer meat's maybe pink in the middle, you really want to cook deer meat to where it's like a medium, no more than medium well. You want that nice warm pink center to it. Younger deer like this, probably going to be really tender. The older the deer gets, get a little bit tougher. Like I say, it's because of that lack of fat that a cow would have. So you really don't want to cook it beyond that point where you have that nice warm pink center to it. And if that kind of grosses you out, or if you're serving it to somebody who might be a little bit grossed out by that, then you can just go ahead and marinate your deer meat in a little bit of Worcestershire sauce for a few minutes. And what that's going to do is make it appear like it's brown all the way through. So you can get around that real easily. We just got a nice little sear on the outside. And we're going to flip them over. Oh man, that's a whole skillet of goodness right there. Okay, we've got those lightly seared on both sides. I'll flip it back over to the original side. And go ahead and let it finish off. Like I say, you don't want to overcook it. You know, cook it where it's safe. You don't want it to be raw, but you don't want to overcook it. You're really just going to kill a lot of that flavor and juiciness and just make it really tough. Break us some onions in here. Let them saute with this while it finishes up. Never have too many onions. Oh, look at that. Man, if y'all could only smell this. Put the lid on it, turn the heat down a little bit, and let it finish off. A couple more minutes. Eating the first fresh deer of the season. Oh man, it's been a long day. I'm ready to eat. Some of these sauteed onions, cooked in all that wonderful deer juices and oil and seasonings. Let's try that out. Now this deer was running free range, running happy this morning. Tonight he's processed out on my plate. Almost lost that warm pink. I should have taken it off the grill just a little bit sooner than I did. But it is still so good and tender. You guys, I'm going to go ahead and eat dinner. Really appreciate y'all hanging out with me, letting me share this little family tradition that we have with you guys. Let me know in the comments, what do y'all do whenever you harvest a deer, first deer of the season? You know, what kind of traditions do you and your family have? And if you don't have one, go ahead and start one. Let me know what that's going to be. So that's all I got for you guys. Once again, really appreciate y'all hanging out with me and letting me share this with you. Y'all take care. God bless.